Alright, welcome everyone. Thanks again for tuning in to Team Let's Eat weekly market breakdown. I'm Tyler, part of the Team Let's Eat group, and we got a couple pairs we're going to be going over today for the first week of August. So we got some pound pairs as usual, gold and crypto. So I'm just going to hop right into it, and we're going to start with the pound Aussie on the weekly time frame as usual. So what I'm looking at this week is I want to see these lows down here around 1.73 touched again, and after we hit these lows, it's possible that we continue up, or we can break these lows and we're gonna see this trend downwards to I had it marked right here, 1.68. But we're going to take it one trade at a time, and the first trade is going to be shorting down to these levels and waiting for that reaction here to see what happens, because it is possible that we pull back up into like this area before we make a huge descent down, which is why we're just going to take this short and then see what the market does there and react to it and get in a trade there. So looking at this daily, we can see a beautiful 1, 2, 3 push up, followed by a fourth candle that was a doji. Lots of rejection on the top side. We closed all the way back down lower than the candle opened. So that tells me that lots of sell pressure is finally stepping in, and we are going to see that move down. And we pretty much tapped into these low, or the open and close of these candles right here, which is what I was looking for. On the 4 hour, we can see it's a pretty beautiful retest of this area that got touched. So yeah, this is pretty much what I'm looking for on the pound Aussie. It's pretty simple this week with this pair. Let me mark this for you. So the top of these 4 hour candles right here is where I would like to see the price pull back into before we push down. Let's look at the 30-minute time frame. If we look at this 30-minute time frame, you can see in this area there's lots of wicks, lots of orders being placed in this area. Every time price pushes up into 1.744, it dumps back down. Did it again here. As you can see, it pushed up all the way to 1.745 and then immediately dropped, and we've pretty much been just crazy consolidation this entire time. I mean, from this candle to the current candle, that is 10 hours of just completely sideways movement. And if you really want to look at it, I mean, we've pretty much been completely sideways for 2 days and 18 hours, right? From this point to this point, price is at the exact same level, and normally after pound Aussie consolidates for a few days, we get that big move. So that's what I'm expecting this week to start off with, is that large move to these lows down here. And then, like I said, once we get down here, we're going to wait a little bit and see the reaction, and possibly we're going to be taking another short, or we're going to be taking a long back up to these highs. So we'll cross that when it comes to. For now, we'll just stick to focusing on this short right here. Going into the 5-minute, we can see this structure a little bit more clear. Let me bring this over, and we can see, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. The area that really intrigues me is right here. So this is really where price dumped from. As you can see, price pushed, it went completely sideways for a little bit, it pulled back up right to 1.745 essentially, and it dumped from there, retested, and we pushed back, and we had a pretty crazy 5-minute candle close on pound Aussie. So what I'm just looking for price to pull back up into this area, pretty much touch 1.744 or higher, 1.745. Anywhere in this region is where I'm looking to take that short. And yeah, the target is going to be, that's around 150, 160 pips. And yeah, again, from there we're going to look and see what the market's doing and possibly take a buy, or we're going to take another short on the lower high. Right, so yeah, that's pretty much it for the pound to Aussie. I don't want to overcomplicate it or just ramble on and repeat myself. So as you can see, this is why the target is here. So the main target is lower than the open of last week. So I really want to see this week's wick on the candle at least push lower than the open of the previous week. And I think it's going to push a bit lower than that. So then we go to the 4-hour or the daily and we look at, okay, where was the liquidity stepping in at? And we can see right in this area, it stepped in, but you see how it made this push down right here, and then it started pulling back up. So that tells me this area right here, this range between these two levels, is where all of the volume is being pushed in at, specifically right in here as well. As you can see, after price dumped and pushed up, it made one last pullback to this level right here, and that's where it took off from. So in my mind, if the market is going to continue upwards and we're going to see, you know, a trend to the upside, then first it's going to pull back to this area and grab orders this week. And if it's going to continue to the downside, then it's already kind of setting up for that sell, and obviously it'll drop then if it's gonna drop. So yeah, simply put, I'm looking to short this just around 1.744 or a little bit higher, with the stop loss above this high right here, and we'll go from there. So that's going to look something like this. Let me just mark it up for you. It would look like, I don't have the, I put the stop loss in the same color. So it'll look something like this. Pull into here and then pull down this way. So let's move on to the pound yen. Pound yen last week was wild. I mean, we caught a long up to 1.6 or 166 area, and then from 166 it absolutely drained. It pushed all the way back down to these lows right here, and I think that is going to kind of continue over into this week. However, we might make the shift back and start heading to the upside after we finish this push down. I don't think this push down is done yet. That's just so much sell pressure coming in that I think we're going to see at least one more day going down, maybe 2 more days, and then we'll start to turn around. So I'm going to go to the smaller time frame. So what I'm looking for here really is that short down, and with that in mind, I'm looking to see a retest of this level right here, pretty much just this area in general, before it pushes down. Okay, if we look at last time price was in this area, this is the level I marked right here. As we can see, price dumped from this area, it pushed up, and see how we retested this line right here. See how it lines up very well. So that tells me that, you know, we're probably going to see price pull into this area, if not even a little bit lower. But this is the level that I'm looking to take profit on, and then from there I'm going to give it a minute to kind of relax and adjust, and then we'll reassess it and most likely be looking for buys. Unless it absolutely smashes through, then we might be looking to short again, but for now I'm definitely going to be looking to take longs once we get down to that level. Now let's go to the 5-minute time frame and let's look at this structure right here. Everything right here. So we have a push down to this area, pull back again, push back up, pull back down here, touch these areas, push up again, and to me, I believe we're going to get a pullback, like I said, to this area right here, kind of where price dumped from. In my opinion, just based on how the market moves, similar to where's the example that I was looking at? Yes, right here. So we see how right here price was pushing up, then it dropped, super small corrective structure, then it dropped again. And what it did is it kind of bottomed out here. It pulled back 140 pips to where it previously dumped from. As you can see, this wick right here tells me that that's where a lot of sell orders are. So it makes perfect sense that price pulls back into this area where all the sell orders came in for it to continue down again. And that is kind of what I'm looking for here. So we've pushed down, we had a little corrective structure, we pushed down again, and now I'm looking for price to have a little bit of a pullback to where price dumped from before. So it's possible that we actually even hit these upper levels right here. If we measure that, yeah, it's very possible that we pull back into these levels right here. I would say right there, right between these levels. And then from there, we're going to dump down to this area, or possibly, like I said, maybe a little bit lower. So what that's presenting is a buy opportunity, an intraday buy into 163.5. That's around 140 pips. So definitely want to take advantage of that. And once we get into 163.5, which is this range, we're going to be taking a short all the way down here, which is another 200. So that's like 260 pips for pound yen and these two moves. And then, like I said, it is possible that after we spike out this bottom right here, that we end up taking another long. Overall, I still feel like this is going to trend upwards to like 175, 180. Who knows what the high is going to be. But I do think we are going to get that push down first. It would be interesting to see if we push way down into this area again. That interests me. Very interesting to see, because this right here was a lot of volume stepping in, and I could definitely see this just completely draining to this area and then long in. Oh, hey, hello. What's up? Good, good. So we're going over the pound yen. I'll just kind of restart that for you, assuming you just joined. So essentially, I think it's possible that the pound yen drops into at least 1.61 or 161, but possibly even 159. I mean, the more that I'm looking at this right now, the more it makes sense to see this continue to drain into this area right here before we continue upwards. So I'm definitely looking to possibly hold that short down to, you know, another 400 pips. Because let's see. Yeah, that's 400 pips right there, and that's 400 pips, so that makes totally perfect sense for that to happen. I'm moving this right there. Okay, that looks way better to me. Perfect. So yeah, just a quick recap. I'm looking to buy this up into this area and then take a short to 161, possibly 159. And yeah, that's it for the pound yen. I'm going to keep it pretty simple and straightforward. So let's take a look at gold now. Gold, 4 hour. The recession is official. We've had 2 negative back-to-back GDP quarters of the year, which is the official recession sign. which is why we've seen some explosion in gold. It looks like 1680 was indeed the bottom, and now we're probably going to see this thing continue upwards. I think we're going to push into 1790 before we get some sort of major pullback, right? I think we're going to pretty much not really have any red here, right? I think we're going to stay pretty bullish until we hit this point, possibly 1800. And once we hit those points, then it's very good chance we're going to see a healthy pullback before we continue. But for now, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we're going to trend upwards. So we're going to get right into the small time frame here, because gold lately has required small time frame. So overall, what I'm predicting is a push into this area right here, pretty much this area right here, followed by the long. Now, based off of this right here, this current price action, I think before we pull back down to the 1750s, it's very possible we touch these highs from right here before we pull back down to this area, and from there we push up to, you know, the buy targets up here. So what I'm looking for is a small intraday scalp. I want to buy right around this point right here. I'm going to delete this line. I want to buy right around this area and have a 90 pip take profit at 1772. And from there, I'm probably just going to wait. It's possible that we catch a sell down to this point right here, 150 pips. And once we get down to this point, then we're going to be holding the buys up 300 pips at least. So what I'm kind of looking to see is something overall like this. Okay, small pullback to this area where we will look to buy to these highs. Somewhere around here, start to turn around and short down to this area where it took off from before. And from here, we're going to long it into 1790, possibly 1800. Yeah, right there. You know what? I'm going to go like this. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So there's tons of buy orders right here. So yeah, we're going to long at the low 1760s and with a target of around 100 pips. And that's it for gold. I'm going to keep gold simple as well. Straight, just looking, the main concept here on gold is buying from 1758 up to high 1700s. Before that happens, I think we can get this little buy here, and then possibly a short back down here, and then we take that long. So that leaves us with crypto, right? We got a couple crypto pairs. I'm pretty much just going to dive into Bitcoin and then kind of skim over Ethereum, and I actually pulled up XRP as well, because why not? So we're going to go to the daily, and I have this daily marked right here, and then I have this high marked right here, right? So we have this daily level high marked, this daily high marked, and delete this line for now. So what we could see, price pushed up into this area, and then the next day it broke this high and it broke this high, okay? And then the following day, yesterday, it broke that high. So we have a beautiful 1, 2, 3 massive wicks to the upside in this area of liquidity. And what I was looking for, which is what that level was marked, I was looking for a pullback into 24,100, and that is exactly what we got here. Just a couple hours ago, we watched this live. I had my computer open when this happened. We pulled up here, took an additional short, and now we're waiting. We can see the reaction. You see this reaction? See how it dumped? It broke all of these lows. It came back. That makes sense. It doesn't have to keep dumping. It's still technically the weekend, so that's totally fine that it came right back to this range, essentially. Let me mark this range. So we have the low right here, and this is the high, this wick right here. Right, so price pulled back into this range, which is totally fine. So going forward on the next daily candle, which starts in 3 hours, look at this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 candles now that have not broken above 24,000 and closed. So that's telling me that this has a very high chance of actually pushing down very soon. If I zoom way in, I want to mark these daily levels right here, and then go to the 2 hour, and then I just look above that, and 24,000 and 24,100 are the levels that stick out to me. So on the next daily candle, which starts in 3 hours, I would be interested to see if price pulls back up to around 24,000 one more time. That would leave a relatively small wick on the daily time frame, or the daily candle for tomorrow's candle, and that's really all that is necessary. I'm totally open to the idea of one of these two levels being tapped again. That's totally fine. That's why I have them still marked here, because I want to see what happens if price pulls into this one of these levels, these daily highs. It's possible that we get one more big wick on the upside followed by a drain. However, I don't think that is as probable of happening compared to price just pulling back up to this zone after swap and then starting its descent down. So it's probably going to take a while to get to the target. Okay, if you've been watching these and the people that are watching this chat or this live, we know the target is really low. It's like 14,000, 12,700 is a level that I have been seeing a lot of traders that I know are saying 12.7. I look at the chart, I can see 12.7, so we might be holding this for like literally 1,100 pips, which would be sweet. So we'll see how this plays out. We're probably going to get a couple different opportunities in the middle of this descent. So I'm looking to, like, this looks like it's going to, I feel like this is just going to drain, honestly. Like, as soon as the next daily candle starts, I feel like this thing's just going to drop off. Like this. Like, if we can push down and then go sideways a little bit and get a couple more entries and then just watch this thing just completely descent, that would be glorious. That'd be absolutely glorious. I will look to enter one more time if we can touch this zone one more time, which again I think is very possible, especially just with the daily time frame and how those wicks work. It's bound to have some sort of wick on the top, and that's only 18 pips, 19 pips. I know we have 3 more hours until the new daily candle starts, so you know things could change. Overall, I'm expecting price to pretty much stay where it is right now and just kind of see, it's pretty much do this again, just on this side of that wick until the new daily candle starts, and then I'm expecting a pretty fast push down this week. Ethereum, same thing. We're kind of just testing. I mean, look at all the wicks up here. You know, everyone thought it was going to sell off here. It dropped. We caught a buy. We tried selling up here. It spiked up. We were a little early. As you can see, where price pulled into. It pulled into the liquidity. And it just makes so much sense to see this thing drop. So much sense. The target is going to be like $600 to $700, which is around 1,000 pips, which is the same on Bitcoin. It's around 1,000 pips. And XRP, same thing. Target is going to be 23 cents, which is the lows over here. You can see from December 2020. We had some pretty crazy price action here with XRP. But as you can see, it's actually similar to Ethereum. It's pulled back into these levels here. We spiked above. And now I'm looking to see this thing pretty much just tip right on over to 23, which is, honestly, I don't know how to calculate these XRP pips. I don't know. Is that 2,000 pips? I think it's 2,000 pips, honestly. I'm pretty sure this is 2,000 pips. I mean, 40 cents to 20 cents. I'm just going to call that 2,000 pips. So that means every 1 cent would be 100 pips. No, that doesn't make sense. But it does at the same time. There's no way this is 200 pips. Yeah, every $1 or every 1 cent is 100 pips. That's how I'm going to calculate that out. So 2,000 pips here on XRP. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I got. Yeah, I think these are going to sell off here pretty shortly. Might have to take some additional entries after the swap. That's it. Do you have any questions?